Today I'm gonna take you through 3 secret deadlift hacks that are gonna dramatically change the way that you deadlift. And if you implement all 3 of these tips into your program, you're gonna see massive gains on your deadlift. Now, if you're new to the channel and you're ready to get in the best shape of your life, make sure that you smash the subscribe button. I'm literally posting a video every single day this month, and I post weekly fitness content to help you get in the best shape of your life. So make sure that you smash the subscribe button so you don't miss out on the content that I post weekly. We're gonna hop right into the first tip that I have for you. The first thing that you need to think about when you're deadlifting is we're not just picking the bar up off the ground. We have to have an equal part of push and pull. And my first cue is to make sure that once you're set up, that you're initiating the movement by driving your feet into the ground. If you can think of this movement as getting set and really wedging ourselves into the ground, and then from there, all we're doing is we're just taking our legs and we're pushing the ground away, almost like a leg press. It's gonna allow you to use your legs so much more. You're gonna be able to recruit your legs so much more, which is gonna help you build your deadlift and help you see massive gains on that deadlift. What I always think about when I'm getting set on my deadlift, once I get my setup, no matter if you pull conventional or sumo, either way, is I'm really thinking of gripping the ground with my feet. And you may have heard other people talk about this before, but if you can really think of your foot as a tripod, where we can really focus on applying 3 points of pressure to the ground. So we can apply pressure through our pinky toe, our big toe, and our heel. And if you can really think of your foot as a tripod, this is gonna allow you to ground yourself. It's gonna allow you to grip the ground. You're gonna be super stable. You're gonna feel like you're stuck in concrete. And then once you initiate that movement, you're gonna take your feet and you're gonna drive them into the ground as hard as you possibly can. That is one of the most important things that so many people mess up. They try to think of picking that weight up off the ground and getting it from point A to point B. And what happens is the legs don't work as much, our hips shoot up, we start to pull with our back, and the movement just goes south from there. So the first step, make sure that you initiate the move by pushing your feet into the ground as hard as you can, basically turning that deadlift into a leg press. Before we hop into step number 2, I'm gonna leave a link to my jacket down in the description and the comments below. You can use the code Jordan20 for 20% off your first order of FitGrind apparel. So this is my fitness apparel line. Our brand is for those people that like to work hard, they like to grind, they like to put in that daily grind in the gym, but they also like to look the part and have good workout apparel too as well. So taking your fit, matching it with your grind, go check it out. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the comments in the description below. If you're ready to match that fit with your grind, you can use the Jordan20 code for 20% off your first order. You can pick up items like this blue camo jacket. This one I like to use as a pump cover before the workout. Take it off, get a magic pump, it's crazy. So, links in the comments description, go check it out after you're done watching this video. The second step that we're gonna focus on is keeping the bar close. And this is another area where after step number 1, we've taken our feet, we've initiated the movement with our legs by pushing our feet into the ground. A lot of times what will happen is people will let that bar drift out, and that movement really turns into this movement where the back is rounding. We can't use our legs as much. So, like I said, my second hack is keep that bar nice and close and almost imagine like you're scraping it up the legs. Now, how we do this is by staying tight in your lats. And what I mean by staying tight in your lats is once we get set, we're gonna think of almost like a band pull apart. We're gonna set the lats down and back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and you're not gonna let your arms protract. You're not gonna let your body fall forward. You're not gonna let yourself lose stiffness or tightness in your upper back. This is gonna allow you to keep that bar nice and close and push your legs as hard as you can to the ground so that movement can be a leg dominant movement and not a movement where if we lose tightness and the bar starts to shift away, it's gonna be really hard to use your legs. You're gonna have to round your back just to try and save that movement. And then from there, things are really gonna go south. So, like I said, step number 1, you're gonna push your feet into the ground as hard as you can. Step number 2, you're gonna set your lats down and back and don't let your upper back and your lats lose that position. That's gonna help you keep that bar nice and close. You're just gonna scrape that bar up the legs and continue to push your feet into the ground. The third and final step, and this is where so many people mess up, and you know, they can execute steps number 1 perfectly, step number 2 perfectly, and then things can just go crazy on step number 3. And the final thing to finish off that rep strong is once you get that bar to the knee. So we focused on pushing the ground away, we're using our legs, we're scraping that bar up the leg. Once we get it to the knee, all you're gonna do is you're gonna push your hips into the bar as hard as you can. You wanna get that full hip extension. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna take out any sort of hitching or any sort of bad technique at the end of the rep where people can start to hitch or they start to throw their back into it or they start to squat down and really hyperextend where a lot of funky things can really happen. So the third hack is taking your hips and you're gonna push them into the bar. It's almost like a hip thrust or a kettlebell swing where we're getting that full hip extension. And if you can really think of once you get that bar right to the knee, if you can mentally think of, okay, I'm gonna push my hips in the bar as hard as you can, that's gonna give you a really strong lockouts. and it's gonna keep you away from that end of the rep where some squirrely things can start to happen. We can start to hitch, or we miss a rep, or we round our back, or do all sorts of crazy things to pick that bar up. So by doing this, it's really gonna help you finish off that rep strong and engage the right muscle groups. So let's start over from the bottom. First thing that we're gonna do after we get it set up is we're gonna take our feet, tripod, the big toe, the pinky toe, the heel, we're gonna push our feet into the ground as hard as we can. That's what starts the movement. From there, we're gonna continue to keep our lats set, our shoulders are down and back, upper back is nice and flat, we're gonna keep that position tight, and you're gonna scrape that bar up the legs. The third and final step, once you get that bar to your knee, you're gonna take your hips and you're gonna push them into the bar like a hip thrust or a kettlebell swing. And by doing all three of these steps, you're gonna execute the perfect deadlift. But not only that, you're gonna execute the perfect deadlift with using the right muscle groups. And that's gonna do a couple things for you. One, it's gonna help you have perfect deadlift technique. But two, it's also gonna help you engage the right muscle groups so that you're gonna strengthen those muscle groups and you're gonna help build more strength on your deadlift by doing that. So if you can implement all three of these hacks into your deadlift next time, you're gonna see massive changes in your deadlift. And if you can do that over time, you're gonna see awesome progress in your deadlift, and it's really gonna blow up your deadlift strength. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you hit that thumbs up button for me. It helps my content reach more people so that it can help more people. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you go check out FitGrind Apparel. Like I said, links in the comments and the description below. You can use Jordan20 for 20% off your first order. Like I said, our brand is for those hard workers. So if you're a hard worker that loves that daily grind, but also likes to look good in your workout apparel, go check it out. Like I said, that's my fitness apparel brand. Appreciate the support. Link is in the comments and in the description below. Now, if you're ready for some guaranteed leg growth, I just posted a video the other day where I go over 4 huge mistakes people make in their leg workouts that is causing them not to build strength and muscle in their legs. So I'll leave that video up for you to watch here next, and I'll see you guys in the next one.